What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All cash, no brakes, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All cash, no brakes, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos.
Welcome to the All Gas, No Breaks podcast, Inside Jeff Football. I'm Jamie Long, radio TV director here at Jeff High School. And right next to me, as always, is Jeff football coach Pat Shanley. We got week 3 of the season over with. Broncos are 1-1 after a big home win against Michigan City Friday. Final score was 46-26. How does it feel to get that first win under your belt? And how does it feel to get it out of the way and get that pressure off a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you can get a win on a Friday night, it's a special thing. There's a lot of work that goes into it, especially when you're playing high-quality opponents like Michigan City, like McCutcheon this week. So it feels good. Obviously, we got a lot to fix. If you guys were in attendance, if anybody was in attendance Friday night, they saw a team that played really well in the first half and really poorly in the second half. So it's kind of Jekyll and Hyde a little bit, trying to determine what kind of team we have and who we're going to be. But again, we hopefully can get it figured out this Friday night.
All right, getting into the game stats, starting with offense, quarterback Tristan Barrett had a quality outing, in my opinion, at 21 for 32 in the air for 245 yards passing. What's your opinion on his performance, and how is his progress coming along?
Yeah, he had another good week. I think the most impressive thing about Tristan leading up to week 2 is just how he practiced and how he prepared. He was really, really locked in throughout, asked a lot of really good questions. We've talked to him a lot about being a thermostat and setting the temperature for everybody offensively instead of being affected by the things around him. And that's a challenge he rose to this week, so hopefully he can stack another great week in regards to his preparation and how he's carrying himself.
It's 245 yards passing a game. Is that a standard, or do you want it higher than that?
Yeah. I mean, like we talked a little bit about this last week, but a lot of it is predicated on what the defense is giving us. So we don't go in and say we want, X number of stats and things like that. We want to go in and win a football game. All right. So whatever the defense is giving us, it's our job to kind of identify that and then attack accordingly. Week to week that could change based off how teams defend us.
I mean, coming out of the backfield, switching gears to the backfield, Tavarius Fernandez had 7 carries for 97 yards, and Marquise Adkins added another 63. Talk about the ground game and how you think that's coming along.
Yeah, Tavares was a defensive back last year. We needed a little bit more juice and electricity, I guess, if you will, offensively, and he's came over and he's done a really, really good job and provided that. He's a guy that could really play in the slot and play in the backfield, so he's a pretty dynamic kid. Also in the return game, he's a kid that can make an impact there as well. And Marquise is just steady. He's a 3-year starter. He played a lot as a sophomore, and so he's played a lot of football games, and he's worked really hard. He's had a great offseason. He's gotten really strong, and he's a good leader. He's a good kid. He's just a really, really steady kid. But as you know, you're only as good as the guys up front. And if you're not blocking people, running backs aren't going to have good stats. So, our offensive line, I feel like took a step forward last week, led by Kairos Carr, left tackle, left guard, Gerald Myers, Smith, center Baron Dunkel, right guard Elijah McQuiller, right tackle Aiden Hawley, and then Matt Adams is our H-back, and Teron McClatchy's in the mix and competing for reps too. So all those guys had a great week of preparation, and you could really see a step forward in terms of what they put on tape from week 1 to week 2.
Did you really see them opening up alleys for the running backs to get to?
Yeah.
Doing what they're told, getting their assignment, basically.
The run in the third quarter that Tavares broke, I don't remember the exact yardage, it's probably right around 70, 68 yards, I think, to be exact. But it was a good hole. And we still, it was a massive hole. Kairos needed to get going a little bit there and find some work. But, again, those guys are really starting to become a cohesive unit and starting to gel. But there was some good holes on Friday night that the guys had to run through, and a lot of them were in pretty critical situations.
Seems like you guys hit a great first quarter, really moving the ball. Second quarter, you kind of had a lull. How are you going to think about preventing that from happening?
So we weren't on the field a lot in the second quarter. First quarter, we played well. We did. We missed one cut. Should have been up 28-0, but to Madden's credit, he came in and hit the field goal. Then Bryce had the big kickoff return to respond to their score. So we really only had one offensive drive in the second quarter, and we didn't finish it. But, again, I think we end up with 34 points in the first half. Third quarter, we didn't play real well, and in the fourth quarter, aside from Tavares' big run in the third quarter, offensively we didn't play well, and then fourth quarter we had a couple good drives. But yeah, we challenged our guys on Monday. Do we have a team that can play a complete football game? We played well in the first half offensively against Chittard, not as well in the second half against Chittard. Week 2 was a lot of the same. So yeah, it's a challenge, and it's even bigger of a challenge because you're playing a county rival, and you're playing a team that's really good and coming off a big victory themselves. So it's a big challenge this week.
Van Ostrin had the great punt return for
Kick
TD.
return.
Kick return.
Yep.
It was a great kick return.
Yep.
He really blazed down the field. That's a nice bonus to get that kind of thing. That really gets the morale up, I would think.
Yeah, we really, Coach Riva was not happy with our week 1 performance on special teams, and we had an extended special teams meeting Sunday morning following the Chittard loss, and there was a lot more involvement with our coaches and our players throughout the course of the week, and I think, aside from a couple of plays, you could see those units really take a step forward in week 2. Our kick return, that was a shot in the arm, and again, those guys, much like the offensive line, blocking for the running backs, the guys did a good job blocking for Bryce on that kickoff return. He kind of hit it and squirted out and was gone. But again, that doesn't happen if you don't have good blocking in front of you.
Last week you said that the defense really needed to get it together. So it looks like they kind of got the message this year.
Yeah, Coach Kronk and his staff, they were pretty intense leading up to Michigan City game. There was a lot of honest conversations and a lot of more attention paid to the smaller details that it takes to guys doing the job and fully understanding our schemes. And then the first half, they played really well. Michigan City's a really good football team, and that quarterback's electric, and he's got athletes all around him. So to hold them to 7 points in the first half, when they were on the field a lot, says a lot about our defense. I think they did a good job. Michigan City ran for over 10 yards a rush in week 1, over 200 yards, and we really limited their running game. I think we held them to under 2 yards per carry. Now, our pass defense gave up a lot, but a lot of those he was scrambling and extending plays and finding open guys, and that's tough. When a guy's got 5-6 seconds to throw, he's going to find open guys, especially when they're as athletic as Michigan City's receivers. So, we got to do a better job against guys that are mobile like number 1 was, keeping them in the pocket. But we were happy with how our defense prepared leading up to Michigan City and how they played, especially in that first half.
I was going to say Aiden H., he got a sack, and he had 5 hurries. You guys had 17 hurries in total. How is that setting the tone for your defensive morale, knowing that if your defense can see that guys are getting to the quarterback? And
you'd like them to finish, right? So 17 hurries is cool, but you'd like that sack total to be a little bit higher. So
no attempts, no right. Pass attempts,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. But they're getting there. They're creating the pressure, but now we've got to do a better job at finishing. Aiden responded well. He knew he didn't play as well as he wanted to week 1, but he really did a great job of stepping up again in his preparation leading up to, and he played a better week 2 than he did week 1 without a doubt.
Excellent. Next week, or this coming Friday, McCutcheon coming off a big win. McCutcheon is against West Lafayette 31-6. So they got a little momentum coming into Friday. What's your approach to this matchup? Yeah,
we're going to prepare like we always prepare, but it is a county rival, which is special, right? Football in our county is important. It's important to them. It's important to us. They had a big win. It was the first time they beat West Lafayette, I understand, since 2016, and they really dominated the game from the start. So this is a really, really good football team that we're going to see at the Shoe on Friday. We've got to prepare really hard and make sure we're on top of everything in terms of our schemes and what we're doing. So it's going to be a test. Mentally, it's going to be a test. Physically, hopefully, we can do what we have to do to make our fans proud on Friday night.
McCutcheon's had some troubles over the past 5 or 6 years. This seems like a totally different McCutcheon team coming into this season.
Yeah, they beat us in 2023. I think that's the best season they've had in a while. But they came to the Shoe. In fact, that's the last team that we lost to at the Shoe was against McCutcheon. So just to add a little extra layer to it, if you will. But this is a team that's playing with a lot of confidence. They're playing with a lot of physicality. They've got our full attention. The past is the past. This McCutcheon staff's done a good job, and this is a really good senior class for them that they've been high on for a long time, and you can see it. Yeah, they're playing good football.
All right. Good luck against the Mavs on Friday. This game is going to be on Friday night at 7 p.m. at the Shoe. Come out, and it's supposed to be a beautiful night for
That's
football.
my understanding, yeah.
No, just another beautiful night in Indiana in the fall. You can catch the game also on Jeff 92, starting at 6:40 with Ellen McGurr and Alex Desinfants on the mic. This has been the All Gas, No Breaks podcast with Coach Pat Shanley. 1, 2, 3, go Broncos.
What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All cash, no breaks, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All cash, no breaks, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos,